Good evening. Happy Saturday. How amazing is this? Welcome to the 34th annual MS Dinner Auction. My name is Stephen Luke, and I am proud and excited to be with you tonight. Nothing was getting in this annual celebration, was it? And there's been a lot going on, right? We're going to talk about some of that as the night goes on. You know, I am an anchor with NBC7. You'll catch me right here in this living room, actually, Monday through Friday on NBC in the mornings. But more importantly, as it pertains to this wonderful mission and organization that we're also passionate about here, I've been helping to host this event. I was seeing a Facebook thing pop up recently, a memory, and it's been more than a decade that I've been with you here. It's such a fun event as we all normally gather in the same ballroom and have some wine and listen to some great music by the heroes. But this year, hey, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We have a virtual program for all of us, as you can obviously tell. And if you have made it this far, you have navigated the technological waters with the rest of us. No small feat. Okay, the event, yeah, it's going to feel a little different tonight, as I mentioned, but it's still going to have a lot of the similar themes that we've had from years past. We're looking forward to hearing some really important stories highlighting the Society's mission, showcasing some exciting entertainment for you as well. More on that in a minute. And we're going to be pulling some names out of our opportunity drawing. We have some winners that are going to take home some cool swag and some really exciting items there. So stay tuned for that. Certainly, if you're one of the people that is part of that and waiting to see if you won, stay with us here tonight. I do want to take a moment and acknowledge the fact that this year is unlike any other year we've ever dealt with, right? All of us. Not only are we hosting fundraisers from our dining room tables, and the fact that we don't get to get all dressed up in person and celebrate, we're some of us are still doing that from home. We are still together in spirit. One silver lining that a virtual event allows is that people from all over the country, heck, all over the world can be joining us. And we are definitely having some people that are joining us for the first time in a long time that haven't been able to be there in person because of this platform here. So, hey, post your comments where you're tuning in from today. We'd love to hear about it. We'd love to know who's all part of this this evening with us. And our hope is that the program leaves you feeling inspired and informed, and certainly the most important part, empowered to take action, because that's what this is all about tonight. It's raising money so that we can end this disease forever. At this time, here's maybe the most important thing that we can talk to you about tonight. We want to let you know how you can donate. So there are two ways you can actually do that. You can text MS Dinner Auction, so MS Dinner Auction, no spaces in there, to 76278. We have it on your screen right there for you. So MS Dinner Auction, you text that in your phone. It's super easy, to the number 76278. Or you can go to www.msdinnerauction.org and you can donate that way as well. And here's the thing. If you have a pen or a phone, you can pull out your notepad right now. Might be a good time to maybe take a screenshot even with your camera of what you're seeing there, because even if you can't donate as much as maybe you'd like, you can certainly have a huge impact by passing along this information to your network of family and friends, and maybe together as we do this, we can pull in some more donations, because it's certainly needed in a year like this. This is the website for tonight's silent auction as well. You had a chance to check that out? Pretty cool. And here's what the best part about it is. Normally by this point in the program, it would have already closed. We would have already known if we got or didn't get a certain, but it's actually going to stay open, the silent auction online, until Monday at 5 o'clock. And there are some really cool packages that we're offering, and all of the proceeds, as you know, go directly to this mission. So make sure to get your bids in right now and keep an eye on those to make sure you don't miss out. The National MS Society is determined to not let nothing get in the way of our mission here, including this unprecedented crisis that we're all dealing with. So the fact that we are continuing to pour money in towards really big breakthroughs is unbelievable. In fact, the problem here is that more people right now are living with MS than ever before. And the COVID-19 pandemic has only intensified the challenges of MS, from difficulty affording medications to increased isolation. I know a lot of you know what that's all about. MS doesn't stop because of this crisis. Clearly, neither will we, though. And we are in this together tonight and ready to write the next chapter of the MS movement here. So, the research services and awareness efforts of the National MS Society depend on the generosity of our supporters like you. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize tonight's sponsors and their commitment to the Society's mission. Huge thank you tonight to our auction sponsor, Biogen. Yeah, fantastic. Just from home, you can do that, right? Our platinum sponsor, Bristol Myers Squibb. Thank you so much for your continued dedication to this movement. Our gold sponsor and the generous 2019 dinner auction honorees, the Cohn family. They have just been so dedicated. So thank you to the Cohn family, all of you. And our benefactor sponsors, Integrity Employee Benefits and Insurance Services, Kaiser Permanente, Ranch and Coast Magazine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd also like to send out a lot of gratitude to our virtual VIP package and ticket holders. Thank you so much for your support of tonight's event. And hey, we'd also like to recognize our local board of trustees who have been instrumental in providing support for this event. It's not something that gets pulled together in a day, a week, or even a month. This is a year-long process as they work towards donating auction items and gathering those and helping to drive our mission forward. So thank you so much. And I'm talking about our amazing dinner auction committee that's wrapped up in this as well. They are just the driving force behind this night, and we thank you for your dedication and all that you've done behind the scenes. A lot of it is a thankless job, and people don't even know what you're doing for it. So thank you. Okay, the auction's year-round impact and success is something we continue to talk about all the way from this point on through the walk events and the bike MS and all the other events that we have. And so this is just a critical night. Thank you in advance for your generosity and support and for being here. Hey, we have an exciting live presentation for you tonight. We're going to sort of pivot right here because there is a local artist and a current UC San Diego student. His name is Austin Paxton. And through the power of technology, Austin is in his backyard right now, and he's able to join us. And he's actually going to be executing an art demonstration throughout the program tonight. Austin, are you there?
Yeah, Steven, great to be here. As you can see, I'm in my backyard studio for the night and ready to start the demonstration.
Austin, great to meet you here, and I'm so glad that technology is allowing for us to connect in this way. Could you tell us a little about yourself and how you are connected to the MS Society?
Yeah, so I'm actually very related to MS on a personal level because my mom was diagnosed my senior year of high school with MS. And yeah, it was a very tough, difficult time. And during that period, I really used art as an outlet to help express myself and just deal with some of the problems we were facing. So I'd like to dedicate this demonstration to my mom, Jennifer Paxton. I know she's in the audience right now.
I'm sure she's so proud, and she's going to get even more proud as the night goes on and we get to see you actually adding to what's already in front of us. Austin, tell us a little about what we're seeing here and this art installation that you've been working on.
Yeah, definitely. So this piece is going to be titled Autumn Blues, and I've been working on it for the past month, actually. I'm going to see this angle right. It's a little rough, but yeah, you can see some texture on it, and this piece, it actually has a very interesting medium that it's composed of. The texture that you're going to be seeing on it is actually recycled scrap metal. And I've been working with this material for a while now, and I really like it because you could transform something that would be considered trash and give it new purpose and new life. And hopefully this piece inspires people to have a new perspective on their everyday lives as well.
Well, Austin, it's really cool, and especially since we are in that lead up to Thanksgiving right now, I can just picture that thing on the wall behind me and my family as we celebrate Thanksgiving every year. And you would have if you were able to take this home with you tonight, which you're going to have the opportunity to do, it would have such a great story behind it as well. Austin, thank you. We're going to check back with you shortly and check in on your progress. With that, we appreciate you and you sharing your story as well and your passion for art and what is driving that, being your mom. Okay. For those of you, again, watching, Austin's piece will be placed in our online auction once it is complete, so be sure to be out for that. All of the funds raised from his art piece, along with all the online auction items that are there, will go towards the mission of the National MS Society. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Janet Hamada Kelly, the president of the Pacific South Coast chapter for the National MS Society. And Janet, so good to see you. So I wish I could give you a hug right now, but maybe we'll do a virtual one of these things, right?
Hi, Stephen. It's so great to see you. Thank you so much for being here again this year. And thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. I wish I could see all of your faces, but I'm glad you've tuned in tonight. It will take all of us and more to achieve a world free of MS. I think there might be a little bit of feedback. I'm just going to keep going. This is the beauty of virtual. So on behalf of the Pacific South Coast chapter, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Dinner Auction Event Committee, our sponsors, our Board of Trustees, and the staff who helped put this event together. Our responsibility to lead the MS movement, deliver results, and drive our research momentum forward is more crucial than ever due to this pandemic. MS doesn't stop in these unprecedented times, and neither will we. While no one planned for a pandemic, we quickly adapted to meet the urgent needs of the MS community. We focused our resources so we could pivot with new and innovative ways to deliver connection, information, and support. This, or should I say, our movement is resilient. You are all resilient, and while our world may look different today, and we aren't sure what it will look like tomorrow, our commitment to the MS community and our movement remains. Our MS Navigator service continues to be available for every person affected by MS. They continue to help people navigate problems and challenges caused by MS, and now the impacts of COVID-19, which include employment, financial needs, emotional support, and access to healthcare resources and treatments. Our weekly Ask an MS Expert webinars have been added to our suite of virtual programming. This brings people affected by MS together to get their questions and concerns related to COVID-19 answered right away. With over 200,000 views on our webinar recordings, this series provides the support those living with MS need during this time of COVID-19. Our bi-weekly webinars for MS healthcare providers share the latest information on caring for patients during the COVID-19 outbreak, so there's access to knowledgeable MS specialty care available. Together, we are still supporting our self-help group leaders with weekly drop-in calls and the tools and resources they need to connect with their groups virtually so that no one has to face MS alone, especially in this time of uncertainty. Our Board of Trustees, staff, and MS activists are raising their voices with Congress and state legislatures to tell them what people with MS and our organization need during this crisis as we continue to amplify the voices of our movement to find solutions so that people with MS can live their best lives. As a movement that has achieved more breakthroughs for MS than the world has seen in any other neurological disease, we are now working on the verge of breakthroughs that we have been working towards since the beginning of our movement over 70 years ago. This is such an exciting time, and we are determined to let nothing, including this unprecedented pandemic, slow us down. But we can't do it alone. Now more than ever, we need your help. Until we end this disease forever, we will do whatever it takes to accelerate breakthroughs. I'm so excited for you all to hear the empowering stories from our Mission Moment speakers who live right here in San Diego. And as Stephen mentioned, we also will be announcing our opportunity drawing winners tonight. We also have another surprise, revealing our dinner auction honorees for 2021. So as you can see, there's a lot in store, so be sure to stay tuned. The most powerful way to demonstrate the urgency of the Society's work is through the voices of those directly affected by MS. I am now going to turn it over to a few of those individuals who have incredibly powerful stories to share.
My name is Emily, and I live with MS. On a good day, I am walking fine. On a good day, I am walking fine. I can do just about everything I want to do.
My dad's doing pretty well. He's still walking, he still works full time. With my new infusion, I am having more better days than bad days.
My knees feel good. I can actually feel all 10 of my toes.
I haven't had any symptoms or episodes in a long time. I think the rate at which we're finding discoveries in MS is pretty astounding.
A generation or two ago, people had no treatment options to turn to. The medications have really changed the course.
When Jean was diagnosed, she had been an avid cyclist, biking 40 miles every single morning.
People call me Dash. That's my nickname, because how I move rather quickly.
Altogether, I served for about 12 years, from 1991 to 2003.
Married to the person of my dreams, feeling really stable. And then everything just got ripped out.
Within a couple of years of her diagnosis, she was wheelchair bound, and just a few years later, she was bed-bound quadriplegic.
The doctors told me they weren't sure if I'd be able to walk without a walker or walk anymore.
I couldn't run. It would just mess with me in my mind, like Dash couldn't run.
My mom also had MS. I can only hope that when it comes to my MS, that it does not impact me as much as it did her.
You cry because you mourn your former self.
I'm thinking about my body holding up every day for the rest of my life. And that sucks. It really sucks.
But we're resilient. We always have been. All these drugs that we have to slow down the progression of the disease is great, but what I would like to see in my lifetime is an actual cure.
We've really come a far way in such a short amount of time.
If we continue doing what we're doing, raising more money, supporting more research, we will find a cure.
Talk to us, reach out to us, listen, because the only way we can find a cure is with help from everybody.
We have to go on offense. We have to change the course of this.
And I don't think that's a lot to ask.
There's a lot more that we can do.
Well, I appreciate everybody's attention, and I want to thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you
guys,
all.
so much
Thank
for
you
listening.
for listening.
Saw an empty chair there at the end of that video, so inspiring. And thank you for filling those chairs and for being part of this. You are the reason why we're continuing to do this and why we continue to have just so much hope about how far we've come so far. Critical tonight that we're all here and doing our part as we try to raise funds that are needed for the 1 million people that are living with MS in the United States right now. So again, you can text MS Dinner Auction, no spaces, to 76278 or go to www.msdinnerauction.org. The information on your screen is how you can give and do your part to help your friends, family, neighbors, and all the strangers out there that are dealing with this disease. Okay, we don't want to forget about the silent auction, because that is another way where we are generating a lot of funds here tonight. And we have exclusive golf course packages for you. We have staycations in the San Diego area. We have a luxurious Aspen getaway home and an amazing Marc Chagall lithograph for you, and so much more. And there's a couple of things I've got my eye on right now as well. Now we want to get a word from our auction sponsor, Biogen.
Life with multiple sclerosis can be full of surprises, so get support from Abby, an app designed to help you along your MS journey.
Bye.
No matter what kind of day you're having, there's someone there who just gets it. Even if other people don't. Abby may help you keep track of your MS symptoms. And remember, they don't define you because you are more than your MS, even on the tougher days. And at the end of the day, Abby is there for you. Let's do great things together. Get to know Abby, Biogen's app to support your MS journey. Download today.
And just a huge thank you to Biogen for your partnership over the years and for supporting this event right here. All right, we want to check back in on our fundraising totals, and we may be able to put that up on your screen for you as we're going to see this for the first time together. Check that out. $10,520 raised so far, thanks to the efforts of the people that you're seeing on the screen right there. $50 from Lauren Austin. Thank you so much. You can text MS Dinner Auction to 76278 to donate now or to bid. Thank you to the Rosenthals for your $100 donation. And as all of this adds up, we're reminded of the fact that there are so many people out there that are doing their part. $20 from Tara or $100 from Joan Wiseman, and all of that adding up to that $10,520 amount that you see there on your screen. Thank you, Al, for donating that $100. We really do appreciate. $250 from Martin Lawson, just awesome. But we want to see that number there grow. We want to see that grow throughout the rest of the night, and I think we will, based on your involvement in what we've seen leading up to this. So we're off to a great start, and we will be continuing to check back in on that number right there just to see how we are doing throughout the evening. So as we mentioned before, everyone living with MS has a unique journey and story to tell. We can think of no powerful way, in fact, to convey the importance and urgency of the Society's work than by sharing as many of these stories as we can. You're now going to hear a couple of inspiring stories from women who have faced their own set of unique challenges with MS and how their lives have changed since they were diagnosed. Please welcome Jenna Schulman and Charlotte Hayes.
My name is Jenna Schulman. My personal journey with MS began when I was diagnosed 30 years ago. I was a second-year college student at UC Santa Barbara. I went from carrying a full college course load and working out twice a day with the women's rowing team to hardly being able to cross the street. Overnight, I could no longer walk or ride my bike the short mile to campus, and the simplest activities became serious chores. That first year, as I worked to rebuild my strength and redefine my abilities, I quickly noticed a correlation between the presence of physical symptoms and the presence of stress. I began to appreciate the presence of symptoms as a warning bell, calling my attention to some aspect of my system experiencing stress, physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional. As I got a handle on new parameters and limitations, I also found ways to regain my confidence. I had no intention of allowing this diagnosis to get in the way of my plans, so I pursued a childhood dream to study abroad. A year in London also introduced me to holistic and natural medicine and the benefits of alternative healing. Yoga and meditation offered a profound sense of peace and calm and a physical and spiritual pathway to balance and strengthen my body. I continue to benefit from these modalities to this day. When I began to reflect on these connections, I came to appreciate that my body was trying to tell me something, and I relaxed into learning how to listen. It was up to me to seek out the root cause of the stress and address it. I also realized how much of my experience was a direct reflection of my thoughts, and I began to fill my awareness with visions of a perfectly balanced, functioning nervous system. This body-mind connection fascinated me and inspired me to pursue a master's degree in consciousness studies. My studies introduced concepts that allowed me to articulate my experience of the mind-body connection and to realize the power we all have available to us as co-creators. While living in Santa Fe, New Mexico, nearly a decade after being diagnosed and examining the potential of our mind-body connection, I was inspired to write this poem. Body Talk. My body shares the secrets as I awaken inner gifts, always present, rarely seen, coming forward as awareness shifts. Find the cause down deep within, still rooted firmly to effect. To find it, search the quiet space while pausing to reflect. Realization floods the senses and the truth will then be felt. The reality of the reasons in the hand of life were dealt. The language of the lessons unfolding from within will tell us all we need to know, when the healing will begin, where the answers can be found, what the process might entail. As we shed the layers of dis-ease, it's the truth that we unveil. I am blessed to have the support of two loving parents who have stood by me every step of the way. My mom has served on the local board of trustees and the auction committee for almost as long as I have been diagnosed. My parents walk with me every spring at Walk MS, and as that has gotten more challenging for me, they now volunteer with me. My dad even did the 3-day challenge walk in my honor one year. I was hugely impressed, incredibly proud, and truly touched. He and I have also enjoyed volunteering at the annual Golf MS fundraiser, making repeat appearances at the Make a Hole in One and Win a New Car hole. Always a fun afternoon. Through her 30 years of service on the board of directors, my mom met the wonderful Charlotte Hayes, whose story you will also hear this evening. When I first returned to San Diego 8 years ago, Mom invited me to join her at the board holiday gathering and introduced me to Charlotte. Charlotte is a vibrant, smart, put-together fashion plate with a wonderful sense of humor. I returned to San Diego after life had pulled the rug out from under me one too many times, and I needed some family assistance. I was struggling, depressed, and having a difficult time with the transition. Charlotte told me about an MS support group she attended in Encinitas and how positive and supportive they were. I had attended various support groups over the years, but had never found one that felt right for me, until this one. Charlotte also encouraged me to volunteer at the office, so for the year I was living with my parents in San Diego, I enjoyed going to the chapter office once a week and getting to know our local staff members. When I first went with Charlotte to check out her support group, it was still relatively new, with only 5 or 6 women. Now, 6 or 7 years later, we have grown to a whopping 83 official members, with patients in all different stages of diagnosis, all ages, and now quite a few men, including Rob Evans, whose story you will also hear tonight. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have had to move our monthly meetings to Zoom, but we make sure to still reach out to one another. Several of us attend exercise classes at the same physical therapy place, classes for which we receive financial assistance from the National MS Society. Those classes have moved to Zoom as well, which has been a great way to continue our interactions and make sure we can still fit into our pants even after being locked up with the fridge since March. I've made friends through this group, have appreciated the positive and open vibe always present there, and I look forward to the day we can return to meeting safely in person. Until then, we'll continue to check in and do what we can to support each other remotely through ongoing changes to daily protocols, as well as our own individual experience. I am grateful for the community I found thanks to the National MS Society. I would like to thank the Society for letting me share my story with all of you tonight. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Stay safe and enjoy a wonderful holiday season.
My name is Charlotte Hayes, and my journey with the MS Society started long before I was diagnosed. My sister Marion was diagnosed back in 1971, and as a way to support her and others living with MS, I approached the MS Society At the time, I was hoping to help others living with MS by providing them support and assisting them to move in a direction they most wanted to live. Around 1983, I started to experience MS symptoms like visual, balance, memory, but continued with my daily life, trying to adjust to my symptoms without accepting I may have MS. I continued to work full-time as a counseling psychologist at San Diego State University and volunteering in my local community until about 2004. And then I was awarded faculty emeritus. After receiving my official diagnosis in 2000, I tried to go about my life, not sharing my diagnosis until around 2004, when I started to need assistance, like using a cane for balance and walking. Under the care of Dr. Jody Corey Bloom, I started a regimen of medication, but was not as diligent as I should have been, still ignoring the fact that I have MS. Looking back, I should have been a bit more cooperative in the following the treatments and medications. Treatments and medications have come a long way, and I'm very grateful to be relapse-free for over 4 years. I currently receive regular mental and physical therapy, but COVID has limited my access to my favorite way to exercise, in the water. I'm thankful to be able to maintain much of my independence with the assistance of part-time caregivers, the angels that they are. My relationship with the MS Society has certainly evolved over the years. What started out as a way for me to give back with the creation of MS Brunch Society to help others living with MS has turned out to be my support system. The MS Society has been there to provide me with emotional, physical, and financial assistance over the year. Whether I attend a board meeting, walk MS event, join a committee meeting, or attend a support group, the MS Society is my family. The MS Society makes me feel like I matter, even if I'm homebound, which I think many of you are now. The MS Society has allowed me to give back while receiving the greatest gift of all, a family. To me, all the gift is to the giver and in the giving. Never being one to ask for help or support, never one to impose on others. The MS Society has taught me to give and also to receive love and support without even asking. My immediate family, parents and sisters may no longer be with us, but I'm so proud to call the MS Society my family. To those of you who support the MS Society, you may not realize the impact you are having on the lives of those living with MS. Life with MS can be isolating without a sense of purpose. Life with MS in a pandemic can be very lonely. But thanks to all of you and your support with the MS Society, I have a family, laughter, a purpose, and feel supported and loved. My best friends are always with me. Family, gratitude, and a sense of purpose and laughter.
Jenna and Charlotte, thank you so much for sharing your stories. And if those stories have inspired you at all, that's of course why we're here, is to take action and do something about it, because we have so many family members and friends coworkers who are dealing with this, and their stories are inspiring us as well to make a difference. So text MS Dinner Auction to 76278 to donate. And as a reminder, the silent auction is also up at msdinnerauction.org, and that silent auction goes through Monday, and so you can donate there as well. Let's check in on our progress right now on your screen. Hey, we're making some pretty good progress. $11,720. We are going in the right direction here. Great job, and thank you to Travis Neese for the $50 that you donated as well. Is the $150 from Mark Braverman and Gail Braverman. So great that you're able to do your part. We thank you. We thank Diana for her $500 donation. Diana, a name that a lot of you are familiar with, Diana Twaddell, and she's going to be joining me in just a moment. Thank you to Stephanie for your $500 gift. So incredible. Ron and Ginger, and the names are going to continue to cycle through. So we just appreciate the effort and the donations that everyone is continuing to pour in with right now. It's fantastic. All right, as we continue to keep an eye on those numbers there, I want to say that no matter how much you can contribute, clearly every dollar counts. Every amount goes towards ending MS forever and this great fight that we are all in together. I do want to, at this time, get some opportunity drawing names out there, because we have, yes, we do. We have a couple of winners here for these first opportunity drawings. And number one is the San Diego Staycation for Two. Drum roll, please. Here we go. Everybody in your kitchen counter, your table at home, or wherever you are, you can. There it is. There's the drum roll. And congratulations to Rob Evans for winning that San Diego Staycation for Two. Opportunity drawing number one going to Rob Evans. More drum roll for opportunity drawing number two, the case of wine, going to Jamie Annis. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead of myself, aren't I? Those are those the people? Those are people that are going to be. Those are our speakers. All right. So I need to find out the win. Okay, here we go. I have the real winners. You know, and I got to say, I'm sorry to Rob and Jamie because they thought they just won, but there are speakers that we're going to get to. My script is out of order. That's what happens here. All right, we're going to circle back. The San Diego Staycation package goes to Cheryl Dorgan. Did I get that one right? I think I did. And the case of fine wine goes to Scott Sandstrom. Congratulations to you. Fantastic. Thank you for all of you that have put in to be part of those. We have two more to announce, and I'll try and get the names right when we do that one here coming up in a little bit. We at this point, we're going to check it back in with Austin. Is that where we are? Yeah, let's check back in with our artist, Austin, who has been working in his backyard on a really cool art installation that you will be able to bid on here a little bit later on in the evening. Austin, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. We've got some good progress going on so far. So what you were seeing was I've started applying some oil paints onto this piece as well. And as I was trying to mention earlier, we have some really great texture from this scrap metal that I applied earlier. Yeah, and the progress is coming along, so I'll keep you guys updated on that.
Austin, it's looking really cool. How, if you were to put a percentage on how far along you are done, what would you say?
Oh, we're just getting started. I'd say 20%.
Wow. All right. How cool is that? So we're going to continue to keep tabs on that as we're seeing it in front of our eyes this morning come to life. We appreciate you. Don't go anywhere because we're going to check back in with you in a little bit. Loving the way that's coming along, Austin. And of course, the fact that you're really all this started because of how you'd like to honor your mom is really the coolest part. So remember, everyone, this incredible Austin Paxton installation is going to be up for auction just as soon as he finishes up the next 70-80% of. We're going to continue to raise funds here tonight. MS. It is now my pleasure to introduce the individuals who did not win the opportunity drawing. Thought they did for a moment. We're talking about Rob Evans and Jamie Annis with MS Journeys and how they have been able to stay personally connected with the MS Society.
Hello, my name is Rob Evans. My battle with MS started the Sunday before Thanksgiving in 2011. At the time, my wife Kristen and I were living in Austin, Texas. I went for a 40-mile bike ride. After I went to take a shower, I noticed the left side of my face was not reacting as my right side was. I was not too worried about it and thought maybe I had been stung by a bug. However, the next day there was still no change and the left side of my face was paralyzed. I called my doctor and was told to go to the ER right away. After a CAT scan and an MRI, they found a spot on my brain. I was sent to another hospital that had a neurologist. In order to rule out other diagnoses, they took 20 vials of blood, another MRI, and a spinal tap. The neurologist concluded that I had MS. When the doctor revealed my diagnosis, I looked over at Kristen. I asked the doctor if I would die from this disease. He said no, but that I would have to make significant life changes. I thought to myself, I had a decision to make. Do I give up or do I keep going? I looked at Kristen and decided to keep going. Because I was a cyclist, we initially got involved with the National MS Society through Bike MS. We joined Team Taco Deli and did the MS 150 that went from Houston to Austin twice. Then we moved to San Diego and joined Howard's team. We have ridden the MS Bay to Bay ride 5 times. The people that have been involved with Howard's team, past and present, have been our extended family. The support that Kristen and I have received has been awesome. In 2017, I had my right knee replaced and I was not able to ride. Kristen and I have participated in Walk MS with Team Salmon 4 times. The members of Team Salmon have become close friends to Kristen and I. What I deal with on a daily basis is tingling and numbness in my right foot, twitching under my left eye, hard time controlling emotions, and cognitive imbalance issues. Walking downstairs, the first medication I was prescribed was a once-a-week injectable. Now I have an infusion once a month. I also take a medication daily to help with my walking. In June of this year, I had my first relapse. Since my diagnosis, I lost dexterity and strength in my right hand. It made things like holding a fork difficult. After treatment, I have my strength and dexterity back and have no lasting side effects from the relapse. For the first time, I saw what the infusion medicine was doing. It is holding the MS at bay. The medications I take allow me to live life to my fullest without any symptoms from the relapse. Being a part of the National MS Society has been extremely rewarding for me. I am thankful for the support from all of the key people in the MS Society over the years. You have helped Kristen and I connect to others who have MS. Having MS allowed me to meet amazing people. I am glad that all of you are in my life. Without the support of people like you, the society would not be able to hold events and bring the MS community together. I am grateful that generous people like you attend events like this so the society can continue to support all those affected by MS. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamie Ennis, and my journey with MS began when I was diagnosed 15 years ago at the age of 25. Before I was diagnosed with MS, I was a young, active person whose career was just getting started. I had been a college athlete and active my entire life. I never could have predicted that I was about to receive a life-altering diagnosis. One morning when I was visiting my sister in San Diego, long before we moved here, I woke up and half my body was numb. I didn't know what to think or what happened. I thought I would go to the hospital, they'd give me medication and send me on my way. But it was when the doctor told me that he thought I had a stroke that the real panic set in. And not just for me, but for my whole family. I was relieved when they ruled out a stroke, but I was still left without a clear answer of what had caused the numbness. My doctors thought MS was a possibility, but I did not receive my diagnosis until several months after the incident. My body remained numb for about 6 months, and some of the numbness never went away. To most, getting a diagnosis of MS would have been terrifying news, and don't get me wrong, it was, but I was relieved in a way to know what was going on and happy to know that there was treatment. I think this was a good outlook, but also a naive one. At the time, I was very young, didn't know what it truly meant. I think my age and a little bit of denial didn't allow me to see the changes that needed to be made for me in order to live my best life. I kept going and working in my fast-paced life, and it took its toll. All of this was often followed by reminders that I do in fact have MS, double vision, severe neck and back spasms, extreme vertigo, the list goes on and on. Around this time, I started researching MS. In addition to my neurologist, the National MS Society was my biggest source of information. Anytime I had a question, that's where I'd find my answer. Back then, MS was very personal to me, and more often than not, I wouldn't talk about any concerns, as I didn't want my family to worry more than they already did. It wasn't until many years later that I truly learned how to help control the disease, along with medication, of course. I changed my diet, I became a runner, I made being active a huge part of my life. When I moved to San Diego, I saw a neurologist that I'm sure you all know, Dr. Charles Smith, who suggested I try a new medication, and my sister introduced me to Orange Theory Fitness, OTF for short, both of which changed my life. I was part of a trial for a new medication, and Dr. Smith, like Dr. Smith said, it isn't a cure, but it's the closest thing. Through OTF, I got back into fitness and as a daily habit. I met some of the most amazing people I know, and can safely say I haven't felt as good as I do today since before my diagnosis. When it comes to having MS, I consider myself lucky to be able to run, lucky I'm able to work, lucky I'm able to keep up with my very active 5-year-old. Lucky to have a supportive family who all live within 1 mile of me here, and lucky to have a husband that sees me at my best and absolute worst and still loves and supports me unconditionally. I'm grateful to all of you who are attending this evening, who helped drive the mission of the National MS Society forward. Because of the support and funding from people like you, Society is able to be a partner to nearly 1 million people living with MS in the United States. From being a trusted source of information, like they were for me when I was newly diagnosed, to helping fund nearly every major research breakthrough and treatment, the Society is able to make sure no one faces MS alone. Yes, I have MS. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you probably wouldn't know it to look at me, but it's part of who I am, and I refuse to let it run my life.
Love that. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Rob, as well, for sharing your really inspiring stories with us and your willingness to be so candid. You know, we have never been this close to a cure. Let that sink in. The work that you're doing is paying off. It's making a difference. And if you've been with the Society for any amount of time, you've actually seen that over the years, and you're seeing the fruit of your labor and your efforts and your hard-earned money as you choose to donate it. And we certainly hope you will continue to do that tonight. Understanding how to prevent this disease and reverse its course has been a key mission of the Society, bringing life-changing solutions and treatments to everyone who is living with MS. It is only possible with you. So let's continue to join together and help create a world free of MS. You should have received a text by now from GiveSmart with a link to our donation page. And when you donate, your name is going to appear on the screen with the rest of our MS champions. So we encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to donate yet, to do so. And to help me thank some of the incredible donors who are showing up tonight, I'd like to bring in a familiar name, a familiar face, and friend of the Pacific South Coast MS Society. We're talking about the chair of the Board of Trustees, Diana Twaddell, who is joining us, as everybody else has been tonight, virtually. Diana, are you there?
I am here, Stephen. Welcome to the Hallmark Channel in my living room. It's Christmas here. We didn't wait. So very excited to be here.
Christmas came early in your house. How cozy, how great. Diana, good to see you. You know, I think the last time that we saw each other in person was maybe a year ago at this event right here. And you shared a story with everyone about your brother. Can you remind us about that?
Yes, my connection to the MS Society began long ago when my brother Tommy was diagnosed with MS, and this was back in 1997. He was a custodian at a local school district, and one day he was kind of dragging his feet, and he'd always been just a little bit clumsy. We didn't really think much of it, but the school nurse saw him dragging his feet, and one of his feet, and said, you know, you may want to go to the ER. And so he did, and that's when he received a battery of tests, similar to what Rob just described a few minutes ago. And I happened to be with him when they came up with the diagnosis of MS. And our reactions were very different. Unfortunately, you know, he didn't know what was wrong with him. So hearing a diagnosis, any diagnosis, was good because, you know, that fear of the unknown, at least they knew what it was. When I heard the words multiple sclerosis, my first thought was, there's no cure for that. And so after that, we got involved with the society, and on walks, we've had some bike teams, and then I joined the board. And so Tommy, his journey was great, and he was truly an inspiration. I never once heard him say, "Why me?" And I was telling a funny story to a friend the other day that was just kind of indicative of the MS experience. Every person I know that has MS, it's a little bit different. That's the challenging part of the disease. You know, Damien Dash, who you heard from a few minutes ago, and just side note, Damien has an amazing YouTube channel called No Stress MS that is so encouraging. So I want to just give him a shout out. He and Jamie both mentioned numbness. And that was one of the challenges that Tommy had, numbness in his legs. So we were out and about one day walking around. He had his walker, and there was a dog around. He's wearing shorts, Tommy was, and there was a dog running around. And the dog was kind of sniffing around, and I saw him sniffing up, you know, Tommy's leg, a little bit up his shorts, pant leg. And I just saw Tommy give me the biggest grin. And I said, "What's up?" You know, and he says, I felt his cold, wet nose. And I said, "Oh gosh, that must have been a shock." He said, "No, you don't understand. My legs are numb, and I got to feel the cold, wet nose of a dog." And that's something, you know, we all should be able to feel, the cold, wet nose of a dog and the fur of a dog. But that is, you know, for some people, that's just it. They don't have that ability because that's just one of the many symptoms of the disease. And so that was just a sweet moment where he was able to kind of enjoy that moment of normalcy with that dog. And Tommy fought bravely this disease. It became secondary progressive MS, and unfortunately he passed away in 2010. But I have to tell you, we've come so far, as everyone has said tonight. If he had been diagnosed today, it would be a completely different story for Tommy. You know, when he was diagnosed, there were only 3 medications for MS in the market. Now there are over 20, including, as of a few years ago, a medication that does treat progressive MS. So we have come so far, and we are truly on kind of the precipice. And I do want to share one thing with you really quickly. We recently had, just earlier this week, the House of Delegates for the National MS Society, where the boards are voted in. And we have developed a new mission statement. We felt like it needed to be refreshed. So the organization had a task force. And I want you to hear, this is fresh off the presses, the mission statement of the MS Society, to give you a sense of the urgency. It is, "We will cure MS while empowering people affected by MS to live their best lives." So let me say those first 4 words again. We will cure MS. That is a bold statement. A lot of thought went into it, but we're putting our stake in the ground. And you're absolutely right. We have never been closer to a cure. And so that cure will impact so many lives. Giving tonight helps all of those living and who are living with MS and who are affected by MS, family members, like Rob, Jenna, Charlotte, and Jamie. And so, Stephen, I'm just really excited to be here, excited to hear these stories, inspired to hear these stories, and just great to be hanging out with you.
Can you imagine a cure for MS, and we don't have to hold this fundraiser anymore? We can just get together and have just a giant celebration. How great would that be, right?
Yeah, you know, I heard at another event, and I love this saying, because what it was is the next chapter in the MS movement could be the last chapter for MS. We can be the generation that ends the disease and changes life for millions of people. So you're absolutely right. We are an organization that is trying to put itself out of business. And that would be a great thing. And we're just closer than you realize.
And this organization is sitting in such a sweet spot between, on one side, the tremendous need that we hear about all the time, but on the other side, such hope and such progress that is because of what's happening here in the middle and the efforts of all the people that are joining up with us here tonight, all around the country virtually, with this unique auction drawing that we've never done this style before. So the reason we're here, of course, Diana, is to take action, to donate. And so at this point, I think we can check back in perhaps on some of our fundraising totals. Holy smokes, we have jumped up. People are listening. People are responding. We are now $4,520. How about that?
That is awesome. And thanks to my friend Allie, who just donated $1,000. Jenna, who we just heard from a few minutes ago, her inspiring story, she's donated $25. Ronnie.
Wait, we are getting breaking news here. Did you hear that, Diana?
I did.
It's pretty
exciting. I just heard that Ron Cohn has donated $10,000. Awesome. Amazing.
The Cohn family,
and they
stepping up again.
As you know, they were honored last year. Yeah.
Such great just champions of the society and everything that's going on here. If you can't donate thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars would do. Hey, dozens of dollars would do, because it all adds up. Thank you, Stephanie, for your $250 donation. You know, we talk about some of the things that just donating can do. So at that higher amount, $5,000, Diana, that could actually provide 1 month's support for an MS clinical fellow to help launch the career of the next great MS healthcare leader. $2,500, that could fund a week of a multi-year research project trying to uncover the next MS breakthrough. And as you mentioned earlier, there have been a lot of breakthroughs just within the past decade.
Absolutely. And then thank you, Travis, for $50. You know, every little bit counts. And thanks to Ken for $500. And, you know, a $1,000 donation can provide an auto modification to help people with MS maintain their driving independence. And $500 could provide up to 6 months of in-person counseling services to someone living with MS. And Stephen, $250 could provide a person with dedicated support from an MS navigator to address their unique needs. And that's one of the unique things about this organization. We are working towards a cure, but in the meantime, we are providing great support for those who are affected by MS with our MS Navigator. Every person in the United States has access to this amazing resource, and they are trained to help in every area. So what a great donation that would be to provide somebody with dedicated support. Stephen?
We saw Tim Hull with a $1,500 donation. By the way, as you were talking, people may have heard a little bit of sounded like somebody was in a bathtub or swimming in the background. That's actually Austin, our artist, who is continuing to work, as we mentioned there, on his installation. So if you at home hear something like that, don't worry. It's Austin hard at work on that art installation. Diana, I want to mention the fact that there are a bunch of people out there that we think may be donating. We've heard that they may be donating tonight, and so we're anticipating that number of 28,570 going up. Whoa, going up right now, up to $33,570. We can thank Ben for $1,000 donation, $5 from Stephanie as well. Do we? Listeners that are in our ear, is there anyone else that has stepped up just within the past few minutes, guys?
Allie McGrory-Reyes.
Diana, you want to share the good news?
Thank you. Yes, Allie McGrory-Reyes, who is, she's actually on our board. She just donated $5,000. She's a fellow Pelotoner as well. I got to throw that out there because she's fierce on the Peloton. And then I saw Tim Hull donated. He did so he did $1,500. So thank you, Tim, and family, for that $1,500 gift. Tim has really been involved in the dinner auction. He is also one of my colleagues on the board, as is Phil Bresnick, who is, again, longtime board member. He and his family have just donated $2,500. So yeah, Stephen, we're kind of seeing that number go up dramatically. Every dollar counts, though.
Uncle Phil's feet, right?
Exactly. I love the name of his team.
You know, it is fun to make the connection between some of the teams and the team names that we see year after year at the Walk MS events, and then we see, you know, the people that are in sneakers and shorts with their families then get all dressed up in tuxedos and suits and ballroom gowns and dresses, and we all get together. And so we didn't get to do that this year, but we are still making a difference together through the power of technology. And watching the number on your screen raise, hey, I just saw a familiar name, Scott Luke, thank you. That would be my mom and dad who have obviously gotten involved. Barbara Katz, have we mentioned that, her donation yet?
We have not mentioned that, no. Miss Barbara Katz, again, one of our longtime board members, very active in the MS community, an MS activist, just donated $10,000. So shout out to Barbara and her brand new dog, Bob. She just adopted a little puppy named Bob, but what a wonderful gift. And she is faithful at so many events. So thank you, Barbara, so much for again, being so faithful here. We're getting close to $50,000.
Yeah, we're at $52,095 right now as we're continuing to see right now people jump on board. Barbara's donation, we've gotten confirmation from our team who's been in our ears. That was not a mistaken zero that got added to that. She actually donated $10,000. Just phenomenal. So thank you so much. Karen Sedgwick Tyler, for your donation. Robert Bruning as well right there. How fun is this? How great is this, making a difference from your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom, wherever you're watching with us tonight. We just appreciate you being part of this team here. And we are just getting word that Aaron Cohn, Aaron Cohn has donated $5,000 as well. So another member of the Cohn family stepping up here tonight, Diana.
Yeah, they were past honorees as well. I think last year we honored them. And thank you to Jennifer for $50. And again, like every donation counts. Liz, one of my colleagues on the board. Liz, thank you so much. And Daniel Kleberg as well, $1,000. This is amazing. This is awesome, Stephen. And there's my friend Barbara again.
It's so crazy.
Just a reminder.
It's so good. And, we talked about some of the higher amounts and you talked about them, but, at the lower numbers, it makes such a difference too. I mean, if you were to donate $100, you could allow a person to participate in a clinical trial for 3 days to expand the number of available MS treatment. $50 would provide 30 minutes of professional training for an MS support group leader to enhance their knowledge of this complex disease and the needs affected by people with MS. Because obviously there's the research arm, but then there's all of the work and all of the donations that are going to help people just live better lives as they're struggling through.
Yeah, and thank you to Paul DeSherry again. The board is showing up here strongly, so thank you, all these board members, for stepping up. And you're absolutely right, Stephen. Even though we're not meeting, those MS support groups, and we have many of them. I think we have well over 1,000 nationwide. Continue to meet remotely. As I see my friend Suzanne Schulman, again another board member, $1,000, and she is Jenna's mom. So thank you, Suzanne, for your great donation.
Liz with 1,000.
Amazing. So there's just so many components to what the MS Society does. Research is critical. Obviously, that is our primary focus, but we work on advocacy, we work on support and programs. We're all about everybody impacted by MS, just not the patient, but the families as well. And thank you to Ken for $1,000. Awesome.
Barbara and Sandy again, just some incredible support here tonight. And again, as you can text MS Dinner Auction to 76278. So once again, the words MS Dinner Auction to 76278 is one way to donate. You can also go to msdinnerauction.org. Both of those avenues are ways you can continue to donate. So if your contribution here tonight, if you'd like it to be more than just a financial gift, you can give the gift that keeps on giving and pass those numbers and those giving opportunities along to your family members, to your friends, to someone who maybe is affected by MS and they have people around them that want to figure out how can we support this loved one. Well, here's how you can support them. you can donate to this great organization that is doing so much as we walk towards that cure that we are also confident we're going to see one day, thanks to the efforts and the mission of the National MS Society.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I just wanted to give one more shout out to Kimberly Roush. I saw $1,000 scroll through. Again, Kimberly has a killer bike team that she actually began, and Justin Recker's another $1,000. Again, great support from our local board here, which I absolutely love. So, Stephen, it's just been great being here with you and hanging out and looking at that, watching that number grow and grow.
Yeah, you mentioned Justin. I always look forward to seeing Justin at this event every year. I'm not able to see him. You know, he can probably see us, but Justin, hi, and hi to everybody else who is joining us here. Diana, thank you. Thank you for all that you do year round. And it's been fun hanging out with you and getting excited for Christmas along the way.
Absolutely. And Stephen, thank you for your commitment to being our master of ceremonies over the past decade. You always do a great job, and I know it comes from the heart. And so we're so blessed to have you with us. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, Diana. Thank you. We're going to continue to follow the numbers here. You know, I've got friends who have MS. My aunt has MS, and I've mentioned this before, that she once told me that MS was the worst and best thing that's ever happened to her. I clearly understand the worst part, but I think the best part is the community, and it's everything that this organization embodies and represents that she's been able to experience because of it. Okay, so thank you to everyone for your generous support. People with MS need us more than ever right now, and you are making the next breakthrough possible. We are moving full speed ahead. We want to thank everyone again who is supporting the National MS Society during this crisis, and we also want to check in one more time with Austin Paxton, our live artist for the evening. Austin, how are you doing?
Hey, Stephen, how's it going? The piece
it's going great on my end.
It's reaching completion at this point, but I just wanted to kind of dive into the title behind this piece. Based on my personal experience with MS, with my mom's diagnosis, if I were to say MS was a season, I'd say it would be autumn, just because when that initial diagnosis hit, there was just such immense change, as if you were going from summer to fall. So initially, I don't know if you guys got the shot on that, but with the texture and the colors, it was meant to resemble fall leaves. But with all the work that the MS Society has been doing, we're really close to reaching that cure, and we can finally begin our transition from autumn to our next phase. And I kind of wanted to embody that and symbolize that by painting over those leaves. As you can see, there's a little bit left. There's a little bit of that autumn left in that background, but we're covering up those leaves. We're getting ready for winter. We're getting ready for this cure, and we're getting ready to continue our lives.
Austin, I love that. I love your passion and how you've been able to take something so near and dear to your heart, watching your mom, everything that she's gone through, and then truly move to action. So kudos to you, and thank you for your involvement. We know that the society's future is in good hands thanks to young people like you and your talent. So we're gonna here's what we're gonna do, Austin. We're gonna actually put that artwork right now up on the auction site right now, so people can start bidding on your talented work there. Right. And once again, all of the proceeds going towards this mission. Austin, any final words?
Let's bid this boy up. Yeah, here's another angle for you guys to get another look. I'm gonna put the final touches on it, and then yeah, we're ready to go.
Austin, you're great. It was so great connecting with you tonight, and thanks for being part of this. And we're going to get that up on the auction site right now, so a lucky high bidder can take that home. Appreciate it.
Cool.
All right, we are going to. Yeah, thanks, bud. Okay, we're going to move forward to announce our final opportunity drawing winners. And I'm going to double check the names to make sure I got them right there. Because these are a couple of cool items that someone walk away with, and we do have a couple of winners. So for the Carlsbad Getaway, that's opportunity drawing number 3, we'd like to say congratulations to Tim Hall, who is going to be taking home that Carlsbad getaway. We saw that Tim had already donated it tonight on his own. And so, Tim, thank you once again for your generosity. And for the exclusive VIP opportunity drawing an in-home wine tasting experience for 12, the lucky VIP winner is Eric Jensen. Eric, congratulations to you. You are going to be taking that home, and 11 of your friends will be enjoying that with you as well. 8 bottles of wine, really good bottles of wine going to your group as well. So congrats to all of our winners tonight, and thank you again for being part of this special event. As a reminder, the auction is going to stay open until Monday at 5 o'clock, talking about the silent auction here. That's Monday, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Please continue to get your bids in to support our mission. And for the very last portion of our virtual event this evening, we'd like to make a very special announcement revealing our 2021 MS Dinner Auction honorees. So each year, the National MS Society recognizes individuals who have made a tremendous impact in the MS movement and in the greater San Diego community by bestowing upon them the prestigious Hope Award. In 2018, we honored Dr. Jody Corey Bloom for her significant contributions to our organization as a former Health Advisory Council Chair and current Board of Trustee for 20 plus years of treating MS, and for all of her incredible work at UCSD. If you've ever had the chance to hear her speak, she is just bottled up so much knowledge there, and so much intelligence that goes into the fine work, and the passion is undeniable. And then last year in 2019, we recognized the Cohn family, Ron, Guadalupe, Aaron, Helene, David, and Leslie, for their unending generosity and commitment to helping all of those affected by MS. The Cohn family, as we've seen tonight with their donations, which continued to come through, just always steps up. They have also generously supported tonight's event as our gold sponsor as well. Their countless philanthropic activities and community leadership will continue to benefit the San Diego community for generations to come. So the Hope Award honorees for 2021 are part of an incredible bike MS team that was formed back in 2008 and has raised, get this, a total of $1.8 million for the society over the years. This team has been comprised of hundreds of riders and volunteers, both in person and virtual. Earlier this evening, you actually heard from Rob Evans, our mission speaker, who talked about his involvement with this tremendous group. And tonight we are honored to announce that the 2021 honorees will be Howard's team. Howard's team is a bike MS team for MS champions, family, and friends. They currently have 6 MS champions on their team, in addition to the team's namesake and ambassador, Howard Gray, led by team captains Bob Moore and Jay McCabe. The team's mission has remained consistent over the 12 years they've been riding together. That mission to create a world free of MS. Congratulations to everyone on Howard's team. You are all so deserving of this honor, and we're truly looking forward to celebrating in person with you next year at our 35th annual MS Dinner Auction. So hopefully we'll all be back, and this 2020 year will be behind us, and onward and upward is what we're saying here at the MS Society. So on behalf of the National MS Society, thank you so much for spending your Saturday evening, part of it here with us, and for donating your hard-earned money. It's making a difference. You saw that tonight, and you're going to see that in the months and years to come. So without further ado, I say thank you and good night. Should we bring on the heroes right now, right? The band, that's what we normally do. We'd be dancing and having some more wine. Well, somewhere the heroes are playing right now. Somewhere they are celebrating with us. Have a great rest of your evening here. Tell a friend about the society and all the work that they're doing. Good night.